But, it's even mentioned in, your stereotypical esoteric book where they're referring to how it works, essentially, is that you have to view history as a whole, not as an individual, like separate parts.
Yeah.
If you view it as a whole, then you'll get an understanding for it.
Indeed, I totally agree. And, I mean, continuing on that line, I just want to make a few comments regarding the whole Templar bloodline thing. We got into that a little bit, of course, in regards to that the when they potentially are producing or presenting this new Trinity, the new Holy Trinity with Prince William at the top, or King William, that they're also at the same time potentially are going to lay out this idea that the Windsors or this family line is the family line of Jesus. Then we get into the whole bloodline Templar story here. And
I mean, I think essentially it had to come through Diana, though. Was it something to do with the House of Stuart? I think that's where the essential bloodline crossover came from.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to, from what I gather, they wanted to, merge the Stuart bloodline into the Windsor bloodline.
Yeah. And with that merging, they get this. I mean, and again, you mentioned this the last time we talked, that in many cases it's common throughout history also to merge different dynasties in order to, in some cases, gain bigger empires. I mean, Ralph Ellis has talked about this, and one example we can talk about as a comparison to, let's say, Diana and Charles then would be actually like Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, one coming from the Egyptian dynasty and one from the Roman Empire. But when these two get together, the empire expands, it's become bigger, and it's accepted by both sides as well, So it's a means to propel forth a new world order, basically, in that idea, or a one world order,
Consumes everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And continuing then on that thread that I was mentioning regarding the bloodline there, that do you think it's possible also now that we could be witnessing then the reformation, if you will, of the Vatican invented religions? In this, of course, we can incorporate the Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, and Anglican Church, and also, furthermore, I mean, the Templars have been embraced now again back into the Vatican after like 700 years of being excommunicated. The Orthodox Church has also been observed by the Vatican, and some people even claim that Islam is a creation of the Vatican. So what we're potentially are seeing now, and I don't know if you agree or not, you can comment on this if you want to, that what we're seeing is kind of the grand unification again of the Church, going back to this one uno, the monotheistic, mono-religion type thing going on here. What do you think about that?
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I mean, given what the Vatican recently said about extraterrestrials as well, it seems that they're obviously trying to get everything to fit the bill as such.
Indeed.
If you know what I mean, it's whereas before it was always thought that if extraterrestrials were to arrive, it would throw religion up in arms, which was the given story in the 90s, from what I gather.
Yeah.
It's now being spread as, well, no, it wouldn't do that. It'd reaffirm everything that we've said.
Well, exactly.
I mean, as far as the Vatican is concerned and the Roman Catholics concerned, I've got very strong views in the sense of, one of the Ten Commandments is "Thou shalt not kill," and yet that religion alone has personally, killed hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely disgusted of what I read that they were doing in the, in the time of the Inquisitions. Essentially, it was horrible, disturbing.
Of course, and if we look at the research of Eric Phelps, for instance, behind the book Vatican Assassins. We potentially can see clear connections to even all the wars, essentially. That's what he is talking about. I mean, First World War, Second World War, if we look at the involvement of the Roman Catholic Order of the Knights of Malta, then we know that people there are currently involved or have been involved in the invasion of Iraq. People at the top of Blackwater, for instance, that is the private mercenary army over there, has connections to all of this. I mean, it's what we have to ask ourselves in that sense is, okay, are these really kind of rogue, personalities, or a small faction just involved in in these kinds of war for personal gain in regards to profit from wars, or is this a totally different thing going on here, going back to thousands of years into the religious structures and orders, and there might be a totally different reason for why them wanting to be in this region at this particular time,
Yeah, completely. I mean, I've got my doubts as to, for instance, why they're in Iraq. I don't think it's for anything to do with the oil, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got no personal answer as to what it could be, but I just don't think it's about the oil.
Some people talk about the, basically the return of the quote gods, unquote, that the
Anunnaki,
the Nephilim, the Watchers, what have you, is in some way returning, or even that this is a symbolic communication to them.
Planet X.
Well, exactly, Planet X. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the thing is obviously wide open here, and what we're doing here is just kind of speculating and tossing around a lot of these different ideas. Yet again, if we go back to a kind of mundane and worldly thing like the Olympics, it seems to be a long stretch between these different things. And I mean, for someone who kind of don't get the idea of why the Olympics would be important in relations to this, I mean, what would you say to a person like that? Like, okay, you got to obviously do a lot of research, but is there an easy way to lay this forth for a person like that to look at the Olympics?
Well, for someone who, sorry, I'm misinterpreting your question. I think, could you repeat it?
Of course, yeah. What I'm asking is for someone to make a connection between a mundane thing, as it were, as the Olympics.
Right. Okay.
And a huge area like this, the return of the gods, the Watchers, the Nephilim, what have you.
Okay.
Is there an easy path between these subjects?
Is there an easy path?
Yeah.
There isn't a three-word answer.
Yeah. Okay.
It obviously takes a lot of interpretation. It takes a lot of time studying and stuff. And
of course,
for someone who's the uninitiated into doing any reading or research themselves, it's going to be a difficult thing to propose that. And it seems wild. I mean, I've said my theories on the Olympics 2012 to the uninitiated, and you should see their eyebrows raised. It's not an easy one. It takes a good 20 minutes, to be honest, to even begin to get an understanding going on.
Well, obviously, and I know that my question there is kind of stupid in one extent, but in many cases it's that kind of instant gratification, so to speak, that some people want when they are researching this stuff. They don't realize that, okay, you actually have to spend a little time and energy to realize this. This isn't just a quick soundbite that you can use to wrap your head around. What we're talking about here is world history, extending thousands of years,
Yeah, I mean, talking about the Anunnaki, as I was mentioning before, there's some real clear-cut connections to everything that is probably to do with the Olympics 2012 in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film yourself?
Not yet, no.
Right, because obviously these Hollywood films that we obviously get published, we never really know who the scriptwriters are for a start. We obviously know the directors and stuff, and the names attributed to scriptwriters, but we never really know who they are. And incidentally, do you ever know how many films have won 11 Oscars? There's only 3 films in history that have won 11 Oscars.
Okay, let me guess. Lord of the Rings?
Return of the King, yeah.
Okay, the Return of the King. Okay, well, this is difficult. What more can it be? Probably like Titanic or something?
Yeah, you got Titanic. Another conspiracy theory film there.
Yeah. And then 2001 Space Odyssey.
No, Ben-Hur, which is all about Jesus Christ.
Ah, really? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charleston Heston. But basically, yeah, it's obviously coincidental. Is it coincidental that there are only 3 films with 11 Oscars?